Okay, welcome back. Welcome back to day 342. 342. You know what sucks? Is this makes a high-pitched noise right next to my ear because of the charging. I wonder if I could just until it's over. Till this video is over. I have a lot to do today. Including but not limited to having my hair in this extremely fashionable position. But no, I was actually going to say doing stuff that I was supposed to do multiple days ago, like watering all these plants. I love how there's only the one here, but it's a visualization. Can I? No, you can't see it. It's growing like this, like off the back of it, and it's going towards the sky, like, oh, because they're climbing plants. So I gotta wrap it back down, being like, no. You do not go there. You don't go up. You get wrapped around. So I'm gonna wrap him around. Wonder how much he changed from the beginning of when I planted and put him here, which was in the last couple months, like in the last year. I wonder. I want to get to my doctor's as always every week, and I go in, and I'm about to sit down to wait to make sure I don't have a reaction and die, or not great reaction. So I'm sitting there, and this dad comes in with two young girls, and he's like, oh, you want me to keep the door open for you? And I'm like, nah, man, I'm going to sit down. And so I sit down, but the girls, they're not staring, but they're doing the, like, look away stare, like, they're staring at the floor, like, and, like, not talking. And I'm just like, I get it, my presence is freaking you out, and I feel really bad. I'm sorry. And I don't know what it is. I had, like, a, little teeth. It sounds scary. I don't even know, are they recognizable as teeth sometimes? But like, sharp teeth, up and down on my mask. Kind of wider, but not my full, like, face. But anyway, so I'm like, oh god, am I intimidating them too much? But to be fair, the whole office is dressed in Halloween decor. The two girls are dressed in Halloween, like leggings and pants and dresses and skirts and layers of just Halloween. So I'm like, I'm just wearing a mask, right? So, like, my mask shouldn't be worse than Halloween, right? So I feel bad, but I'm sitting there. They leave first, so I'm like, okay, so I leave a little bit after them, and because it's closing, so I gotta head out there really quick. And I get into the hallway, and I see them rounding the corner to the elevator, so I decided to walk agonizingly slow to I turn the corner, and they're still there. They're still at the elevator, and I'm like, okay. So I get in the elevator with them, and they're doing the same thing, and they kind of joke with each other, but they're still very clearly distracted by me being there. My presence is worrying them, so I feel really bad, and I'm like, okay, and I'm just wearing a concert shirt for the Police from their 2007 reunion tour, and like fancy pants and a chain, like just one silver short chain. But my presence is so scary. They're just like, and they're like kind of joking at each other, but I don't know what I do. So I kind of smile at them, but I realize, I guess I have dead eyes when I'm out, because I realize when I smile under my mask, my eyes don't change, because some people just like squint their eyes to be like, I'm smiling. But I realized that it's just like a glare. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't do that. But I smile and I'll just like, my eyes don't change. That very, I don't know. Like somebody pointed out as a very like white person, like when you look at a white person and they're just like, smile. But I try to be friendlier than that smile. I try to be like, yeah, it's okay. Yay. But I'm like dead tired. I only slept for like 2 hours. So I'm like, it's okay. But I was dead asleep, like dead tired. And anyways, I go down and I get into my car that my siblings in. And I just go, these girls do not stop staring at me. A little louder than I should have. But again, dead tired. My sibling just goes, my window is open. Fucker, dude, they're right there. And they can hear me. So now I feel awful because, I don't want them to feel self-conscious about recognizing me. I just felt, and she's like, well, my sibling's like, well, you felt self-conscious by them. I'm like, no, I felt bad for scaring them. It's completely different. Me scaring them and them looking at something that they might have not seen before. And, it's like, oh, well, if they're older than that, they were young, man. Like, I don't know. 8 tops for the oldest. But not even, maybe, like, younger. I 8-year-old, I don't know. So, an 8-year-old, well, actually, wait, how old? An 8. I think I undercompensate. Maybe so anyways, like, she's not that, like, she wasn't, like, I don't know. It just is so funny because, like, teenagers do that look to me where they're kind of looking, but you can't tell. They're, like, analyzing, and you're like, are you afraid of me? What? And then sometimes I don't know, but you can kind of have there will be this little gleam in their eye, and that little gleam will indicate to me, no, it isn't fear, it is love. It is LGBT person, it is fashion, it is like alternative fashion, you know what I'm saying? Like, not fashion, but like alternative fashion, where it just like is a little bit of a ding. Where you can kind of see, like I told you when we were at the beach and someone's like, are you guys, and my siblings like, and it was so funny because I'm like, she's staring at me, and is she scared of me? Is she analyzing? Is what's going on? But at that point, I wasn't in a very scary thing. I was in like stretchy the sweatshorts, and there's a t-shirt that says, y'all need Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you're not, So anyways, so I don't know. So anyways, so sometimes you can tell, same office, doctor's office, there was 2 teenage girls, or 2 teenagers, and I was there, I was walking away, but I had colored hair actually at that point. I haven't done that in a hot minute. We should color my hair, guys. Look how long it is. Oh, I need a haircut, and I need a hair dye. Anyways, so, and I was walking out of the office, and one of the teens were like, oh my god, I love your hair. And I was like, cool, I love yours too, thanks. I'm walking out, and the other teenager rips their hat off, and was like, you can't tell, but I have, in the end, it's blue. And I'm just like, cool. And you can tell it was alternative fashion, like, ooh, it was a little bit of one or both of them are LGBT, like, ooh, just a little, you can just kind of tell. But with like kids like that, like actual children, you don't know. I think the thing is they don't know either, because it just is something that they never experienced before. Like when I first got hit, like I actually got ran into when I was very young by a really big, bald, tatted dude, when we were in a water park, and he backed into me and I knocked down, and I looked up and he looked like it was scary, like, even though he's wearing just swim shorts, like, he's tatted, he's bald, I'm pretty sure he had piercings, he looked like a biker, like, he looked a really intense look, and he's giggling. He was giggling until he realized he ran into me. He must have been a tall dude. I was a short little kid. And he backed into me and he's like, oh my god, I knocked over a little kid. And he's like, are you okay? And I'm just looking at him like, oh my god. And I had this, like, probably terrified face on. But that guy changed so much for me. I absolutely love, like, it was something that I never experienced before, which was a very, very masculine man being extremely nice and sensitive, and it was amazing because I sure it was fear, but it was such an amazing thing because I never had that before. Like, I never experienced that, and then those characters became very popular too. So you see, like, Hagrid, a really big, scary guy in Harry Potter, but he's an extremely gentle, gentle giant. Gentle giants. Oh, hell yeah. And that guy was the epitome of a gentle giant to me. Like, he was my very first one, and could never recognize him again to save my life. But he backed into me, and he turned around, he's like, oh my god, I knocked you over, but he didn't want to, like, pick me up, so he's like, oh, do you need help? And I was just like, oh my god. To be fair, I was also terrified of the like, wave pool that we were in, because that wave pool, I'm terrified of drowning, so that's a thing. So I'm terrified of drowning. If there's so many people, it just seems dangerous. The ground is hard. Like, there's so many things that I didn't like about it. So him scaring me was like, I was already in fear mode. But ever since then, like, gentle giants have my love. Like, my love for gentle giants are always just top tier, and I love it. And it happens in obviously it happens in a bunch of other film and media TV shows as well. But like, a really tough looking guy, even if they're not, like, big, but like a tough looking guy with a heart is just so good. Such ideals, being a really tough looking guy with a heart. I don't know why. It's just yes. Like, I think it's a trope in an anime, but was it in Blue Exorcist where the main character beat the crap out of these teenagers? He's a teenager himself. Beat the crap out of these teenagers because they were hurting pigeons, and he's like, don't do that. So he, like, hurt them because they wouldn't stop. That is what I strive to be. Intimidating as fuck. But, like, a gentle soul, maybe I wouldn't beat the hell out of people, but just because that's me. But too gentle, not enough giant. You know what I'm saying? I love also just punk looking guys. That's why I like the punk aesthetic. Like, I never watched it before really recently, but the Rocky Horror Picture Show the aesthetic in there. So it's a parody movie on 50s and 60s horror movies, and it's a parody on that. So a lot of things that are like, it's out of date. Like, why did they joke about that? I'm like, watch freaking 50s and 60s horror movies so you know what they're parodying. But anyways, the aesthetic is not a parody of those movies. The fashion is very punk. And yes, punk aesthetic. Yes, I think it's like Eddie with, what did his love and hate knuckle tattoos? He got rings on. I think he had a denim vest with like stuff on it, and he had a motorcycle, and then the person, spoilers, the person that they were together, Columbia, she had the magenta, the pink hair, and the suit, and even like the high heels and the fishnets and the whatever. It was a very punk though, with everyone was wearing suits, but like differently, and they were all not stereotypical. Ow, my hand, ow. Okay, sorry. We're back. Oh yeah, so yeah, the punk aesthetic. Man, God, I love punk. I wanted to dress up as punk today, but then I found my navy dress pants that I forgot I owned because I don't normally go for navy, like a really navy pants, but I bought them for jury duty last year. That never happened because apparently they weren't doing trials because of COVID, but I'm like, what about all the people that were arrested and are in jail and need to figure out if they're going out of jail or they're actually going to prison or having other legal issues. Anyways, found those, so I decided to wear those. Yeah, my siblings were complaining about each other to me, and you know what I did today instead of listening to either of them? No, I listened to both of them, but instead of dealing with anything, there's a burnt piece of toast in my toaster, and I took some photos of it, and I called it Toast is the loneliest number, and now I got one of the loneliest numbers stuck in my head. But anyways, I think I'm gonna make an art gallery of my amazing photos. I have a broccoli bit in one of our glasses that was called, I think, Delicious Meals. So I got Delicious Meals, we got Toast is the loneliest number, we got other art pieces by me. One time I draw something phallic with flowers coming out of the end. I think that's going to be called something phallic. Something beautifully phallic. I think it should be, that's what it's called. I have a still life of a vase with flowers in it. That's going to be called Sharpie Still Life because I couldn't find paint, so I used Sharpie. I think I have good art going.